They told him it was impossible. They laughed when he said he would walk around the world. Not travel, not ride, not fly. Walk. No shortcuts, no support, no turning back. What nobody expected was that this man would actually begin and then refuse to stop. While the world changed governments, technology, borders, and beliefs, one man kept putting one foot in front of the other. For days, for years, for decades. He didn't chase fame. He didn't chase money. He chased something far more dangerous, a promise to himself. This is not just a survival story. This is a story of loneliness, betrayal by systems, broken bodies, frozen oceans, burning deserts, and a dream that refused to die even after 27 years. Because when most people quit after the first failure, this man was just getting started. And by the end of this story, you may never look at your own limits the same way again. He was born into a normal life in a normal country with no idea that one day the road itself would become his home. Growing up, he wasn't rich, he wasn't famous, he wasn't protected, but he had something rare, discipline forged through hardship. As a young man, he joined the military. That's where he learned how fragile the human body truly is and how powerful the human mind can become when it refuses to surrender. Long marches, heavy packs, cold nights, orders that didn't care about comfort. But even the military had limits, and he began to feel trapped. The world felt bigger than the walls around him. Every map looked like a challenge. Every border looked like an invitation. Then one thought changed everything. What if I walked home from the other side of the planet? Not metaphorically, literally. People thought it was a joke. Friends tried to talk him out of it. Officials warned him. Loved ones worried he would disappear forever. But here's the twist. He didn't want safety. He wanted truth. He wanted to know how far a human being could go when excuses were stripped away. So one cold day, with almost no money, basic supplies, and nothing but belief, he stepped forward and began walking. At first, it felt manageable. Fresh legs, clear goals, the excitement of starting something no one else had dared to finish. But that illusion didn't last long. The road turned hostile. Mountains rose like walls. Weather changed without warning. Blisters turned into wounds. Wounds turned into scars. There were days when hunger screamed louder than motivation. Nights when silence crushed him harder than exhaustion. And still he walked. He crossed countries where he didn't speak the language, places where suspicion followed every step, borders where officials didn't believe his story, because who walks across continents anymore? Some let him pass, others didn't. He was arrested more than once, detained, questioned, treated like a threat simply because he didn't fit into a system built for planes and passports, not footsteps and stubborn dreams. But betrayal didn't just come from governments. It came from the body, too. Knees began to fail. Feet cracked and bled. Cold burrowed into his bones so deeply it felt permanent. In deserts, the sun tried to break him. In jungles, insects, disease, and fear surrounded him. In frozen regions, one mistake could end everything. And yet, the most dangerous place wasn't the wilderness, it was his own mind. There were moments when quitting felt logical, reasonable, necessary. Years passed. The world moved on without him. Phones became smarter. Borders became tighter. People he once knew aged, married, had children. He missed funerals. He missed celebrations. He missed entire chapters of normal life, all for a road that didn't care who he was. Then came the moment that nearly destroyed the entire mission. A frozen ocean stood between him and the next continent. No bridge, no official crossing, just moving ice, black water, and death waiting underneath.
Walking wasn't enough anymore. To keep the promise, he had to risk everything. He stepped onto ice that shifted with the waves. Sometimes the ground disappeared beneath him. Sometimes he had to swim in water so cold it stole breath instantly. Sleep came in fragments. Fear never left. When he finally reached the other side, broken and exhausted, he thought the worst was over. He was wrong. Authorities arrested him again. They said his crossing didn't count. They erased months of suffering with paperwork. He was sent back. Years of progress erased in a single decision. That betrayal almost ended him. Most people would have stopped there. No shame, no judgment.
But something inside him refused to accept that ending. Instead of giving up, he did something nobody expected. He kept walking. Not forward, but louder. He turned his struggle into a message, into proof, into a protest powered only by feet and willpower. Media finally noticed. People began to listen. The world slowly realized this wasn't madness. This was obsession shaped into purpose. Even then, the journey didn't become easier. Funding disappeared. Visas expired. Global crises shut borders overnight. Years passed where he could only wait. Waiting became its own prison. But when movement was allowed again, he returned to the exact point where he had stopped. No shortcuts, no forgiveness from the rules he set for himself. That's the thing about true commitment. It doesn't negotiate. He walked through endless emptiness where a single mistake meant no rescue. Through lands where hospitality saved his life more than once. Strangers fed him, families welcomed him, villages turned into memories he carried silently. Every step added weight to his story. Every mile stripped away ego. By now his hair had changed, his face carried time, his body moved slower, but his spirit stood taller than ever. 27 years after the first step, the finish line finally appeared on the horizon. But even then, nothing was guaranteed. One final barrier remained, a crossing that laws forbid pedestrians from using, a place where safety rules clash with human determination. To complete the journey, he would need permission no one had ever been given, and once again the world watched. Not because he was strong, not because he was fast, but because he never stopped. This journey cost him comfort. It cost him relationships. It cost him time that can never be returned. But it gave him something rare, proof that limits are often imaginary lines drawn by fear. He didn't defeat nature. He didn't conquer the world. He simply refused to quit on himself. And that's why this isn't just the greatest survival story ever told. It's a mirror. Because somewhere inside you, there's a road you've been avoiding, a promise you delayed, a dream you labeled impossible. And maybe, just maybe, the only thing standing in your way is the first step. Because as long as you keep walking, the story isn't over.